So I'm taking my work underground. I can't let it fall into the wrong hands again.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Okay. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I guess you can see me. I guess you can hear me. Here we are. A new song surgery. And I'm just waiting to make sure that you can see me and hear me, and then I will proceed with today's proceedings. And while I do that, hopefully, I've got the I've got the messages open here. This isn't going to stay here. I'm just waiting for somebody to say that they can see and hear, and then I'll close that, and I will try and answer. I will continually. All clear. Right, thanks Nick, much appreciated. Okay, I will continually come back to the chat as we proceed. There you are, you see. All clear. Good name for an album, that. Okay, song surgery. The reason I haven't done a lot of the reason I haven't done any song surgeries for the last few months is simply a technical issue in the setting up of these song surgeries. As I was doing it previously, was a bit of a fiddle. I had to get I had to get an HDMI splitter box and split one lead into another lead, and then from one computer into another computer, and it was all quite a fiddle on, you know. But now I have this new system, which I was aware of, but in the build-up to doing this. You have to kind of absorb the technology rather than going live with the technology when you don't really know what the technology is. So, having said that, the famous last words. Let's hope the technology does what I think it's supposed to do. Right, so we're going to do Wet Brain today. And the reason I'm doing Wet Brain is because it's got a lot in it. There's some very sparse compositions that I've done. Those of you who see me Sunday night stream, some of the backing tracks, almost nothing happens in those backing tracks. But in this particular track, there is an awful lot that we can look at, which makes it perfect for a song surgery. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it, and I hope everything goes according to plan. So let's begin at the beginning. Jim Drummond on drums. Now I use folders. You see this says drums, bass, guitars, keys, perks for percussion. Noise is like things that come and go throughout the song. That's a folder, and within that folder is the entire drum take. So rather than have all of those drums open and all of those guitars open and all of those keyboards open, okay, it's much better to put them into folders. And if you want to address the drums, you open the drum folder and then you close it again, and then you can see everything clearly. So this is the drum folder. This is Jim. Now the way that we did this, right, was we recorded the drums all by themselves in the guest house in Airdrie quite a few years ago now, and I sat basically on a chair in front of Jim with a guitar, and I said, there's going to be this riff, there's going to be this riff, there's going to be a stop, there's going to be that. And so Jim's watching me for the cues, and I'm playing the guitar as the drums go down. That guitar that went down with the drums is long gone. It's deleted immediately. Okay, so can I just say that Jim is a phenomenal player. He can play anything you throw at him. You know, he'll just play. So okay, Jim, drums. Let's have a listen. That's what I want to do. I want to solo the drums. Okay, here we go. Jim. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm cueing him for all of that. He's basically watching me for these cues. Yeah. Now here's an interesting thing coming up here, I think. This break. Yeah. Let's have a listen to the guitar at the intro, because what happens with the guitar on the intro now, these are the riffs here. So they will be in a group here called riffs. So if I solo that, you're just going to hear the riffs. Now, you hear that. Can you see that little step up there? Can you see that green line, and then it goes louder? And the reason for that is that the guitars start at a specific volume, and then they increase. Actually, the best way to show this would be to use the mixer. Right, you see that blue fader there with the R underneath it? Watch it jump up. This is what's called automation, by the way. Watch this blue fader jump up. Yeah. Now. So the guitar's just got slightly louder on that thing there, and the reason for that, if I take the solo off, is so that the guitars kind of start, and then when the drums come in, they come up in volume. So There. Nice. Now that stop there. Let's have a look. So that's a guitar. It's all a Les Paul, by the way. Yeah. Now that is doubled with the Hammond organ. Okay, and this is the Hammond organ here. Let's have a look at the Hammond organ. There it is. Yeah. So the guitar with the Hammond organ sounds like this. The idea of this song is very much about King Crimson, Focus, Yes, Genesis, all of those kind of guys. It's not supposed to be it's not supposed to. Okay, I hope you're liking it. Thank you very much. I will keep reverting back to your messages, and I will try and stay focused so that I don't drift off into la la land, right? So this is very much it's a 70s prog thing, right? And you know, these like guitar lines with the organ and stuff like that. And there's also parts with like the mini Moog, you know, like where's the Moog? Playing a harmony to the organ. So you got the organ, and then the like Rick Wakeman kind of Moog comes in with a harmony. Yeah, and that harmonizes with the guitars. Talk about a lot to go through. Okay, I'm not going to do all of it. It'll be on for bloody hours. So then you've got this kind of Robert Fripp, Adrian Belew thing. And then you have this kind of these chords underneath that. Yeah. There's just something else I wanted to point out here. Where's it gone? Strange, okay. And there's a choir underneath that from the Native Instruments choir with the organ. Okay, so you see those chords that we looked at just a second ago. The Moog synth also reinforces that. There. Let's put the choir in. And with the picking in, the picking guitar. Yeah, okay. Let's have a listen to the drums. Yeah. And the bass. New guitar riff comes in here. New guitar riff. And you see this, and this. You see those two that I've just blacked out there? They're like a slide guitar. Yeah. So if you just listen to that on its own. Okay, so drops in and drops out. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. This song's full of that kind of thing. Also a nice one. If you've got something that's repeating, if you want to keep it alive, if it feels like it's going on too long, bring the tambourine in. And it resurrects, so you go, oh right, we've got 4 bars of that, and then you go into the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th bar, and it's like, oh, but if bring the tambourine on halfway through, you're saying, here comes a bar, 2, a 1, 2, 3. If you want to really get into the detail, you'll hear that I dampen the guitar just ever so slightly. Digga, digga, digga. You see, it's again. Digga, digga, digga. Just a little bit of dampening, and it kind of accentuates the arrival of the tambourine. Right, okay. One last thing before we move into the next section. If you have a percussion thing and you got a big heavy number like this where there's a hell of a lot of stuff going on, to have one shaker will not be sufficient, okay? See, that's it. That one actually needs to come up a bit. See? So I've got the word egg here. For those of you who were wondering why there's the word egg there, egg is a percussion instrument. It's a little plastic egg with sand in it, and a shaker. Okay. Right. This is fun. Now this is, let me just, I will, hello Justo, hello Stephanie, hello Paul Miles, hello Jose Silva, yeah, Rick Wakemanish, absolutely, it is prog. I absolutely have no denying it. This is prog, ladies and gentlemen, it's heavy prog. Now here's something which is great fun. what you see, what happens here is if you we're going into this, I call this toy drums, okay, and it's like it's a breakaway. So you got this section here where the drums stop, and it's a drum machine. It's a drum software. I call it toy drums because it's supposed to sound like a toy drum kit. Right, now there's a reverse cymbal there. This is a reverse cymbal. And then it's forward there. So you've got the reverse cymbal leading you into the break, and then when it comes out of the break, you've got the hit. Okay, so here's a thing which is interesting that I do a lot, which is, you see these yellow M's here, these yellow M's, that's for mute, okay, and on every track, no, I won't show you that, but anyway, on every track, right, the automation, if I take this automation off, have a listen to the drums without the automation, when it goes into the break, there. Now I wanted those drums to stop, so there. Now, so what I did is I muted the channel, and the thing about stopping the drums is that you just stop the drums, okay, you just say, right, the drums have stopped, right, but what I did was I mute the channel through the automation. So if you look at this line here, where that cut is, that's going to go, you'll see these yellow M's come on automatically. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, it completely silences the kit. If I'd, because this was an afterthought in the arrangement, that I could have said to Jim, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop, and you would have the ambience of the room. You would have the ringing toms. You would have the ring, you know. So you'd be wanting to stop cymbals and kill drums and stuff like that. So the idea of this is to not only have Jim stop for the break, but to like kill it. So once again, you see these yellow M's come on for mute. Here it comes, and so it's total silence. Okay, it's total silence, which is like a shock, and that's what you want. And then they'll come back on. There. So it's been totally silenced. Now, let's have a look at this guitar here. By the way, I'm using amplitude at all times here. Will it be the Stomp? Oh, which one am I looking at here? Oh dear me, what's he gone and done now? Right, okay. Also, the automation being recording movements on the mixing desk. You see this gain control here. In that break where the drums disappear. In the break where the drums disappear and you go back to the guitar riff, that gain control, you'll see it go down. You'll see it go down automated, and that cleans the guitar up for that break, because you don't want like the full-on distorted guitar sound in that break. Yeah? See, so it's a bit cleaner. And then back on. There. It's just a little bit of the, it's just bringing the drive of the amp back a little bit so that the guitar sounds, I didn't want it clean, I just... Right, so that's that, you see. Okay, so now let's have a look at what we've got going on here. This thing, noise. Okay, so let's have a look at this reverse piano. So there's a reverse piano in that break. There's this. Okay. And then there's this. Right, so put all that together. That's how you get that. That's that break. And let's hear it. Okay, and then it breaks down, drums go half time. Amplitude guitar software. Yes, I am sponsored. Yes, I think it's brilliant. What's the point in using something that's shit just because you get it for nout? You get something for free and it's shit. Why would you use it? I only use stuff that I want because it's good. When I got it for nothing, it's worthless. If you got it for nothing, if it doesn't do what you want it to do. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got like a Fender tube amp. We've got the decomp compression. We've got a Ibanez overdrive, overscream. What's it called? Tube Screamer, the original from the 80s, I think. And then we've got like a Crybaby wah-wah pedal. Now, I hope you can see that this guitar is automated. So you'll watch the wah-wah pedal move. You see. Okay, so you got everything in. I tell you, if you wanna have a room with 100 amps and 100 cabs with different speakers in different tubes and different transformers and different microphones and all of the pedals that you want, and you want to set them up and put mics on every cab and bugger about with leads and batteries and power supplies, by all means go for it. I would not say don't do it if you can be bothered. But why? When you've got Amplitude 4, you have got everything you could possibly need. This isn't an advert for Amplitude 4. I'm just telling you what I think. You plug it, you open it up, everything's there. Right, enough of that. Okay, so if you do a guitar solo, at least in this house, if I do a guitar solo that I don't particularly like, and you think I'm going to delete that and do another one, don't be so hasty, because you never know what might come in handy later on. So you see all of these guitar solos here. These are all ditched guitar solos. This is the guitar solo that I've just blacked out there with the wah-wah pedal that we just looked at. This is a guitar solo that I ditched, but I wanted to fill this space in. So I reversed it. So that works as that's nice. That's a nice effect. And to bring us out of that, we go back to the piano. And what we've got here is we have a reverse piano. Let's solo. So the reverse piano. These three lines are the same chord as on this reversed audio file. See? So you hear the piano come towards you, and then you get the strike of the piano chord. Okay, now, for those of you who watch the live streams, you'll know that I play a Sunburst 62 reissue Telecaster with binding and custom Seymour Duncan pickups. And this is the guitar that you hear in this solo. So it's literally a Fender amp, a bit of compression, a tube screamer, reverb and delay, and a 410 Fender cab. Yeah, it works. That's what I use all the time. I use that all the time, basically. I've got a video on YouTube explaining all of that. So Jim. Great. You don't want a lot of stuff going on in your backing on your guitar solos. I'm not going to name names, but I've done gigs with certain drummers that when you start rocking, it's like everybody's trying to show what they can do all at the same time. It's not what it's about. I could talk about that a bit more, actually. But if you listen to the backing without the guitar in, there's very little going on. And so the guitar solo goes on. You can listen to that at any time that you wish to. So we come out with a guitar solo here. What's that? Reverse cymbal. Reverse cymbal taking us back into the break. Now, okay. All kinds of things going on in here. All kinds of things going on in here. If I can find them. There they are. Okay, so we've got a xylophone. Here it comes. Xylophone. Okay, we've got a marimba. And then halfway through we've got this thing that I called fuzz, which is like a synth thing. Okay, so of the prog heads out there listening to bands like Gong and Bill Bruford stuff and all of that kind of thing, you know, this is what this is all about. So you got that, you got the marimba and the xylophone, and then you've got that fuzz synth thing to come in. Yeah. I wanted it to change colour, you see, all the time. Ooh, look at that one almost at the end. Ah, yes. There's a thing here, you see. Clean guitar. What's this? Yeah, so you can see here I've got a thing called Vi. Now I wonder why we've got a thing there called Vi. You got two guitars. That's why it's called Vi. And it just bridges that gap. Okay. That's where it ends. What was I going to say about that? There was something I was going to say about that. What have we got in there? Oh, yeah. The bass. I played the bass on this, by the way. So when it goes into that guitar solo, I do this kind of walking bass line. That's it. That's how I put together a song called Wet Brain, which is on the album Light. For those of you who are interested, on the output channel, I'm using this Acoustica Audio Fairchild compressor, which is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in all of my life. Yes, lots of people do Fairlight compressor copies, but this one's a beast. So if you watch these meters here, the top and the bottom, you'll see them go back when the signal gets heavy. Yeah. So that's just taking a little bit off the top. It's taking a little bit of the thumb off the top. Keeps it punchy, makes it rock. And then I've got a Acoustica Audio. What's it called? Bloody hell, can't remember what it's called. Pultec Eq. And I'm just rolling off 20 dB on the Pultec EQ because it's down there. The reason for rolling off 20 dB is that your ear can't really hear it. It really messes up the mix. It screws it up. So you take it out, get rid of it. Okay, so attenuate 20 dB, 20 hertz, kilohertz, don't know, but that's what that's about. That's removing that. And then on the top here, I'm boosting a bit of the top end. So if I take that out, okay, this is like mastering. This is kind of not the way to do it, but I do it while I'm mixing. I do this so that I can tell how it's going to sound when it's mastered. So if I take out that compressor, let's listen to the beginning of the song with the compressor out. Okay. So all of the compression and the EQ is out. So let's listen to how the song sounds without that, right? So we'll just take it from the point where the drums come in. Now let's listen to it with the mastering stuff in. This Arc 2 is room correction by IK Multimedia, and what that is that where I'm sitting here, you have, you got alcoves. I don't know how much of that you can see actually, but just the shape of the room. Unless you've got the money to have a room specifically designed to have all of this stuff corrected, you basically take a reading of the room that you're in, and it recognizes where the frequencies are being screwed up. So you might have a boomy. For a long time I was mixing the bass on my mixes. I'll tell you, the basses on my mixes were all over the place because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was in a room that didn't have much of a bassy sound, so I was mixing things with the bass turned right up, and then you put it on a car stereo and there's loads of bass on it, and you think, well, I didn't mix it with that much bass, but it's actually the ambience and the acoustics of the room that's misguiding you. So this is from IK Multimedia. I've actually got Arc 3 installed, which I haven't done the room readings. But you see, what it's telling you is you see before the orange line, this is where your EQ and your frequencies are all screwed up because of the shape of the room. It's not your gear, it's not your mics, it's not your mixing, it's your room, okay? And this white line here is it corrected. That's it all fixed, you see. If I switch that on now, it's pointless because you aren't in this room, okay? So if I was playing this track to you with the correction on, it wouldn't sound right because you would be listening to it with the correction of my room. You don't need to hear the correction of my room. What you're hearing now is how it should sound on all systems because I did it with the correction on. Okay, what else am I going to tell you? Nothing. Got nothing to tell you. Nothing more to say. Other than I hope you enjoyed that. And let's see, are you talking to me? Hello. Hello. Nick, thank you very much. Oh, you've just turned the volume up. Wow. I think you're going to have to watch the show all over again. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Let me just get rid of that. So the song's called Wet Brain. It's on an album called Light, which we have not yet pressed. I have not yet pressed to CD or vinyl yet. It may be that I do at some point. It may be that I don't. I would like to. Certainly I would like to. The madness of the state of the world at the moment. What you're going to do. But I would love to press it to vinyl, and hopefully maybe one day we will. That's me back again there now, you see. Yeah, okay, brilliant. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. a word of advice. I can hear you saying, Paul, have you got any advice? Well, one piece of advice is never apologise for what you're putting out online. If you are apologising for what you're putting out online, you shouldn't be putting it out online. You know, everything that I've learned to do here with the audio software and the video software and the streaming software, I have learned from watching videos. I learned how to use Ableton. I learned how to use Cubase. I've learned how to use all kinds of different software. I've learned how to use Sony Vegas video editing software, and I've learned how to use vMix live stream software. And I certainly found a lot of the time in Ableton, people would apologise. I'm sorry for this. It's not really a finished track. I'm just doing this to show you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Use a finished track. Don't use an unfinished track. And if you are going to use an unfinished track, say it's an unfinished track. But for Christ's sake, don't apologise. I mean, my theory is that if you have to apologise for what you're putting out, it's not supposed to be going out. So this is a finished track, you see. Right, that's all. Whatever will I do next? I'll tell you what. Any requests? Any requests? Is there any tracks that I've done that you particularly would like to hear me dissect? I am dissecting a wet brain this morning. Very strategic and very technical. If you want me to dissect a track, let me know. And if I've still got the master, the multi-track for it, I'll certainly do it. The ambient tracks, well, you know, maybe the ambient tracks are worth doing, you know. It's just that there's not a lot going on in them, but maybe you can show, you know, Space 3. There you go. I could do Space 3. I'll do Space 3 next. And you can see how little is going on in there, which creates the atmosphere. Another thing is of course, just by the way, all of this that Jim's doing, he's playing to a click. He's got the click in his headphones. Yes, very good. Can I play it? Can I play it? You want to hear the whole song from start to finish? We'll do that if you want. Is that what you mean, Paul Miles? So yes, we'll do Space 3. Yeah, Space 3 next. What day is it today? Maybe this week. Maybe Friday. Maybe Friday morning. Maybe Saturday morning. So like I say, okay, the reason I haven't done any song surgeries for so long is the technical, I was doing it a different way. And it was fiddly, and it was a mess on, and it gave me a lot more to concentrate on than I wanted to. And because I want to focus on this, I don't want to be. So basically, what I've got this new thing, which this computer screen here that you can see is being broadcast through the internet to the streaming computer. So there's no need for me to put a cable in, and the cable. I'll play the whole song, right? Hang on a second, and I will do away with my camera. You don't need to watch me listening to a song. And I'll mute this microphone as well. So fried brain. You've got a fried brain. Wet brain. Okay, I'm going to play the song. Wet brain is an affectionate term for a thing called Korsakoff syndrome, which, if you're an extreme alcoholic, like real end of the line alcoholic, and you're drinking a bottle of whiskey a day or 2 bottles of whiskey a day, I know how it feels to be in an alcoholic blackout, believe you me. But if you have Korsakoff syndrome, the switch that sends you into a blackout doesn't reset. So you basically spend the rest of your life in an alcoholic blackout. Imagine that. And a wet brain is the affectionate term given to that condition in the lunatic asylums, where they are treating alcoholics with wet brains. That's why it's called wet brain. And as far as, yes, Jeff Lewis, it's complicated. There's a lot of detail in it, and I love it. It satisfies me. It absorbs me. I'm engrossed, and I find it, and it's like, well, you've got so much stuff going on in there. Well, it's what I want to do. It's what I want to do. So I'm glad you liked it. Thanks very much, everybody. I am going to mute my microphone, and I'm going to play the song from the beginning, and maybe I'll chat with you on this chat if you are wanting to chat or ask questions. So first things first, mute the mic. I'll see you next time for Song Surgery Space 3. Watch out on the Facebook page for an announcement of a date and a time. Thank you. Enjoy the track. Bye.